there's a life I could have known, one beyond my wildest dreams. Maybe that road could have carried me to streets of gold. Things aren't always as they seem. Looking back on all the chances that I missed, some I held, some slipped away. One street over where my memories exist, I wondered what would change, I really couldn't say. In this life there's nothing certain, except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing, I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known, that would have kept me from the one I had today. Time gone by, I've traded like dirt into clay. I thought my memories would end. One train over's now 1,000 miles away. When I close my eyes, I'm back to where I've been. In this life there's nothing certain, except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing, I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known, that would have kept me from the one I had today.
Oh, I'm going to go ahead and interrupt the guys. Hi, y'all. This is 1100 WSGI. I'm U-Turn LaVern. This is One Street Over. You're in the right place to find out what's going on one street over from where you're living. I just love the Rich Top Ramblers for letting us have that song. That is an original. I was teasing them. I don't know if they played it at were you at the Kilgore Station Bluegrass Festival this weekend, you guys?
No.
I was there until about 4:30, I guess, and my granddaughter turned 4 on a Saturday, and so I had to go and celebrate her. Of course, we're going to celebrate her again on this coming Saturday because, you know, that's what we do with the little ones. We actually had a birthday cake for her, I don't know, at my house 2 weeks ago, so she's been partying all month. It's hysterical, but anyway, that's what we do. Welcome. This is One Street Over, and this is Veterans Service Day. We have, and let's clarify some. Scott Erwin's here, Terry Wilson's here. Tomorrow, we're going to have Abigail and Gwen come in here, and here's what's going on. Memorial Day's Monday. Flags are going to be placed tomorrow, correct?
We got some being placed today and some being placed
today.
tomorrow.
Where are they being placed today?
Springfield Memorial.
Okay.
At 4:30.
Okay, 4:30. Where is it tomorrow?
Tomorrow at 5 o'clock at Greenbrier Cemetery.
Okay. And that's something maybe we can get some, of course, my kiddos won't be there tomorrow because if you don't have things to make up, you don't have to come in tomorrow. That's a makeup day. Today is, oh man, we're getting so close to summer. I'm so excited. I'm living that teacher life. I'm like, yes, I need a break because teachers you're just going around the clock. But nonetheless, we've only got a half hour today, so we're taking a half hour tomorrow. The first of the month fell on a Wednesday. So what that does is that takes the mayor and alderman meeting that we have in Springfield, because it's on the third Tuesday, and it pushes it later in the month. So occasionally, Ryan Martin will be in here on the fourth Wednesday instead of the third. And I say that to you guys because we've moved you guys to the fourth Wednesday. So in that situation, we'll have to, do a half hour instead of an hour, but it doesn't happen super often. Maybe, once or twice a year. So is that cool with y'all? And then we can always have you come in and then make Gwen and Abigail come in, and we'll have you in from occasionally. You're supposed to be resting and retiring, but how's that going? Are you doing that?
I hadn't figured out how to do it.
We were just discussing his health with him and saying, okay, take care of yourself, brother. So, but anyway, so y'all are super busy right now
Yes.
because of Memorial Day. How do you want to unpack this? Because I want us to get everything that's coming up. You need people to help put flags. But how many flags will you put out today?
Darn, I can't remember how many there is at Springfield Memorial. A bunch.
A lot. Who usually helps do that?
Legion and VFW, and then if there's anyone else that wants to volunteer and come out, that's great.
Scouts. And,
Yeah, always good to have other people. But it's mainly has been Legion and VFW
Okay.
has been doing it. Joe Eden's going to head it up tonight. Said he would be there. Don't know if I'll be there for the entire thing, but depending on how many people we have set flags out there under an hour.
Okay. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot to do. Yeah.
That's a lot of walking.
Do you just put them along the front? Correct.
Well,
How does it? Because there's some cemeteries, like if you're in a veteran cemetery, they put them on each gravesite.
yeah.
But on this one, you won't do that, will you? You'll
Yeah.
just put them on the. What do you do up here at Springfield?
And with any public, private cemetery, a lot of times you'll see there'll be a headstone, but then if there's a veteran placard, will be at the footstone.
Okay.
So there's a lot of people get confused, like, where do I put the flag? So they'll stick one in both places. Well, you only have to put one. You go to the headstone and you do it center of the veteran.
Okay.
1 foot off of the headstone.
Okay.
But out there, we usually place them a little bit closer because we know they're going to probably be doing some lawn maintenance, things of that nature there. But typically, it's 1 foot off of the headstone
Okay.
and center of where the veteran's name is.
Okay.
And that's why I say a lot of folks, that's one of the things they get confused on. So I end up going back through and looking at some things and picking flags.
Okay.
And moving them because they'll put them at the footstone.
Okay.
Yeah, which we don't want to do.
Yeah. Okay, so but don't you line the front with them as well? It seems like I've seen flags lining the front part of it as well.
They've done some of that before. I don't know that if that's going to happen this time or not. If it does, that's probably another half hour, 45 minutes. Depending on how many people's there. They are calling for rain and a chance of storms later on today. But typically we try to do it rain or shine.
Okay. And so that's why I wanted, whenever I realized we had to, split the time, I thought, well, we need to remind people of this because with Memorial Day coming up, there's the poppy sales, with American Legion does that, correct?
Well, VFW does, the American Legion does National Poppy Day on the 25th, which is Friday.
Okay.
Then Saturday, which is Buddy Poppy Day for the VFW, and the VFW will be at multiple locations across the county. So they'll be at a store near you. Almost like they're set up almost like a dollar store. There's one within 10 minutes of you anyway.
Yeah.
And so they'll typically do that. Now they'll do their Buddy Poppies twice a year because they'll do the Saturday of Memorial Day weekend, and then they try to do the Saturday right around Veterans Day in November.
Okay.
And they do the same thing with the funds that the rest of us does. The funds go back in to help with our veterans, our surviving spouses of veterans, for the kids. And so they do give out some pretty good scholarships to the JROTC.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't realize that. Okay.
So that's always a great thing, being able to recognize those students that have excelled.
Yeah.
But trying to be able to do those things. Now, the ladies with the Legion Auxiliary had been doing one on that on National Poppy Day, which is the Friday before, and what they've been doing had been doing a drive-through one. Don't know how the weather's going to play with them this Friday, but they are going to have some things set up. They're going to have some things set up inside the post. So just hoping that folks come by and support that. Get a poppy. I mean, show your support.
For sure. And then as far as the events for Memorial Day, are you guys going to be out at different ones? What about Scott? Hasn't even said hi. Hi, Scott.
Good morning. Good morning.
He's like just letting Terry take it. It's like go go. But I mean, we have missed you, brother. So it is good to have you back in here. But as far as the schedule for Memorial Day, what is that looking like for you guys? Do y'all have events that you're going to be attending or
Well, I know
overseeing?
real quick before we move on, I know that the beginning of this month, you had mentioned, because I've never done the Greenbrier Cemetery. Typically, the past several years, I've done the flag setting for Springfield Memorial.
Right.
And I didn't know where Greenbrier Cemetery exactly was. So, Terry, where is that?
Yeah, tell me.
Okay.
I don't know either.
Well, if you're coming in from 41, you'll turn besides the Citgo. I think it's still a Citgo. There, it goes down past the Nelson Distillery on where it was, and you'll stay on Distillery, and I think it's probably a couple of miles out from where you turn on Distillery, but there'll be a left turn onto Old Greenbrier or Greenbrier Cemetery Road, and it's just a little ways up the road, and it's on the hill on the right.
Okay. So no problem finding it. So
Yeah.
absolutely. So, and that's tomorrow at 4, you said.
5.
5 o'clock. 5 o'clock tomorrow. Okay. So 5 o'clock tomorrow, that's when we need you there. And today, and you said 4 today? Am I right?
4:30.
4:30 today at Springfield Memorial. And this is a great thing to get your kids out. If you're thinking, oh man, my kids don't even know what it's about. They think it's all about roasting hot dogs and doing what you do out in the yard. This is, this is what Memorial Day is all about.
And, one of the things I started a few years back is I never saw, and some people may like this or not, so the views expressed are mine. But I have the Sons of the Confederates, and they have been coming out on the days that we set flags. And sometimes they're there at the same time we are, but I encourage them to come out and set flags when the rest of us are doing. And because Greenbrier Cemetery, the older part of the cemetery, there's Confederate, there's Union. I mean, just
Wow. Yeah.
it's just veterans from all different time periods. And
This is at Springfield, did you say?
no, Greenbrier.
At Greenbrier.
Yeah,
There's that old?
yeah,
Really?
yeah.
I did not realize that.
Yeah.
Wow.
And some of them, there's all there is a stone marker.
Yeah.
Yeah. How they do the little stones. And because that's all people used to do, because everybody knew who was there.
Yeah.
Now they're all gone because they didn't tell nobody.
Well, and people, we just don't. Well, I think some of them tried to tell us, and we just didn't take time to listen. I think a lot of people tried to share stories.
Yeah.
But
But no, I think, and I know a lot of people get upset, talking about the Union and Confederacy stuff. But bottom line is, Congress made all Confederate veterans, period.
Yeah.
There's no differential in it. And so that's one of the things that's hard to get past some. But, there's things there. If we don't remember the past, we don't know our history, we're going to be doomed to repeat it.
Mm-hmm. For sure. And I mean, and it's, all of it needs to be examined. Yeah. And absolutely. That's just if you really study that time period, it's breathtaking what families were facing. Where, brother against brother, father against son. It just is breathtaking. Yeah. And a lot of misinformation. Yeah. They did it back then too. Yeah.
And
So anyway,
but yeah, we'll be there for that.
Mm-hmm.
And then on Monday, there will be our annual Memorial Day program in Greenbrier will be at Austin Bell Funeral Home. Todd Yates, got to give a shout out to him because he has been great to work with there, and gives us a place regardless of the weather. We're inside, and we got enough room to get plenty of room to get everybody in. That will be at 9 a.m.
okay.
Is when it will start. White House starts, if I remember correctly, is 10:30. So we always try to do. We've done ours for years at 9 o'clock, and by finishing up between 9:30 and 9:45, always give the mayor enough time then to be able to drive the White House without having to get a good driving award.
Mayor Vogle,
Yeah.
bless his heart. Whenever he's got places, about 10 different places he needs to be, it's a dance. Well, I've got Senator Roberts is going to be in with me on Memorial Day, as he's going to do the radio show with me. So I imagine he's probably got a few places he's got to check in too.
And it's I know it's the first weekend going into summer.
Yeah.
And it's great, you want to get on the lake and stuff, but take a few minutes to remember what Memorial Day is about.
Yeah.
I grew up thinking it was the weekend you planted potatoes.
But that's one of the things too. We put up this little memorial thing at church, and they allow. That's when I was on staff there. I said, "Can we do something because number one, we had one of our members. Her brother was a hero in Vietnam. He gave his life for others. I mean, he's just an incredible story. And I always share that on Memorial Day. But I wanted to make sure people knew about Donna's brother, and Donna Hagen's who I'm talking about, and her brother. So I just wanted to make sure that they knew his story, and I don't know. And then I got to checking around, and I found other stories of people who had died in service. And that's really, people kind of get it confused. We honor the veterans who have passed, but Memorial Day is about honoring those who gave their life in the service. Is that correct, Scott? Do you want to chime in here? There's a clarification on that. I mean, the Veterans Day is for everybody. Memorial Day is really about honoring those who gave their life in service.
Yeah.
Have I got it right?
And some of them, it's for those veterans that have passed. And so that's the easiest way for me to kind of sum it up for everyone, because, we have World War II vets. We got very few in Robertson County now.
Yeah.
Very, very few. And it's important to remember them, the ones that have passed, since they come back, because of things that they did within their community.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the things they did to support different organizations, and the work they put in to be able to have funds there to be able to, at that time, still take care of veterans and all.
Right.
Korean veterans, our Korean veterans are in their early 90s now. Most of them are. Mm-hmm. And
that's something people don't realize is how many are still MIA in Korea. Isn't that just a really big number?
Yeah.
That's what I've always heard. Is that true? Have I been misinformed? But
yeah,
there's a lot of people don't realize how many are still missing in action.
I think we still have some from World War II.
Of course, yeah.
One.
Yeah.
Korea, a bunch from Vietnam. Mm-hmm. I think at one point in time, Tennessee, I think it was 77,000 from Tennessee that was still unaccounted for.
Wow.
But I mean,
wow, that's amazing.
But they're constantly doing different things. The State Department is on trying to recover where these bodies was, and what they've been doing is working with veterans that may have been on campaigns in different areas, and they try to remember roughly about where there might have been a mass grave or something like that done, or where the battle was, and then they're going in and they're looking for that, for remains. It's just like, they're still identifying remains from Pearl Harbor.
I remember a news story, it's probably been 10 years ago now, where they discovered a bunch of remains, and it was Korea. That's why I'm thinking of that.
Yeah.
And I know that at one of the Vietnam Vets Days, it's probably been about 2 or 3 years ago, we had a woman whose father is still MIA. And it's just, when you hear these stories, man, it's breathtaking. It's amazing. But I tell you what, let me pause. Let's do a break real quick, and we'll come back and we're going to continue our conversation with Terry Wilson, Scott Erwin. And we are talking about all things Memorial Day, Veteran Service Office. When we come back, Scott, I want to talk to you about when the office is moving. I talked to Mayor Vogle a little bit about that yesterday, but I know that's coming up. So you can just kind of clarify that for our veterans that might be looking to you to get some services provided. But let's talk about Cumberland Connect right now. They are one of our wonderful sponsors, and we appreciate them so much because we all need high-speed internet. And if you're somebody that has been struggling with your internet connection, there's no reason to if you are a Cumberland Electric customer. Everybody that's a Cumberland Electric customer is going to have access to Cumberland Connect. It's just a matter of time for they get to everybody, because Cumberland Electric's in counties other than Robertson, we have to remember. But it's going to be available to all Cumberland Electric customers. It's high-speed internet. You can get a gig for $80. It's fabulous. I love having a gig coming into my house. And if the power goes out, guys, and you have a generator, you can plug your modem in and you'll still have power. You'll still have internet. It's pretty stinking cool how it works. And I can't say enough about it. I'm actually working on getting a battery backup for my modem, so I don't even have to fire up the generator. But it's just one of those things that I cannot say enough about. I've suffered with really terrible connectivity for a long time. And for somebody that does a lot of media, and that's hard. I'd have to come steal internet from the radio station or at church or somewhere like that to get high-speed internet to do the things I needed to do. No more. I have a great connection, great speed at my house, and I'm going to get an extender to go into my outbuildings. It's cool stuff, guys, what they can do. If you have questions, you can pick up the phone and actually get a hold of somebody that can help you. 800-987-2362, 800-987-2362, or you can go to their website, go to cumberlandconnect.org, put in your address, and that will tell you, well, hey, we're here. You want us to come connected? Or it'll say, well, we'll be there at such and such time. They'll give you a projection. But great service, great folks, Cumberland Connect, cumberlandconnect.org. When you get in touch with them, always please let them know that their ad dollars are working, that you turned Cincha. And anyway, so with that said, you got Cumberland Connect now while you're looking?
Yes, I do.
Isn't it wonderful?
Yes.
You have a gig?
Oh, yeah.
Are you in the gig club?
I sure am.
We have the special gig club. So I feel so bad for those who don't have access to Cumberland Connect, because you got to be a Cumberland Electric customer to be able to get it. You live out of the county, right, Scott?
Out in Hendersonville.
That's what I'm saying. But pull that microphone to you if you don't mind. And now that we're going to ask you some questions, we need you to be on the microphone. As far as the office moving, you're moving to, I didn't realize that was a renovated building. Mayor Vogle was telling me yesterday, because I was thinking it was new construction because I'm as observant as a toad. But so they said it was actually a building that y'all just renovated. It wasn't constructed from the ground up, right?
Right.
Okay.
So the move time that they're projecting, last I spoke with engineer Trey, was July, August timeframe. Hopefully it's, sooner in July would be nice. But when we have the privilege of doing what we do and to help our veterans and our veteran families, it's no secret that, the man to my right was a big part of where we've come. So going back to, Wayne Duggar, where it started, to where we're going to be moving to this summer is just, it pretty much blows my mind.
Yeah, it does me too.
We're excited.
When you know the whole story.
Yeah.
Somebody just had a heart for veterans, said, we got to do something. And look at what happened. I mean, it's incredible. How many dollars did they say you are bringing into the county now?
So
that's a big number, man.
So it's just shy of $50 million.
That's insane. What?
It's just shy of 50.
Wow.
It's been going up every year.
That's amazing.
Every single year it's been going up. I think
wow.
That's twofold. Not only are we busy, or we stay busy, but I think the quality of work that we do and the things we're able to get connected, per each veteran has that's been shown as well.
That's incredible.
So.
That's incredible. And this is stuff that, I mean, service-related injuries that they never knew they had, especially when it comes to Agent Orange. We found out so much about that, and other things. I mean, the just all kinds of things. And if we can connect those injuries to their service, they have benefits coming. And it's not just for them, it's for their surviving family sometime. And when you look at Agent Orange, guys, this stuff is generational. It affects you at your DNA. It is incredible. And, you know, about time they start taking better care of our veterans. My goodness, about time. So what say y'all? Go ahead, talk.
Hey, I fully believe. And I've noticed, you know, when I've gone back, of course, I still do a lot of research and reading on things. And what the VA does now versus what they did 10 years ago has greatly improved. At that time had greatly improved over what they did 20 years, you know. Yeah. So they keep making advances. And the one biggest thing that a lot of people lose when they're looking at is, well, it takes so long to get an appointment. Well, by golly, call a civilian doctor first thing this morning to see how soon they can get you in.
Oh, that's true.
And because the wait time is going to be pretty close to the same. Mm-hmm. And one thing I always try to remember our veterans to do is, hey, you know what? You catch a lot more flies with honey than you do vinegar. Mm-hmm. So regardless of how that nurse or doctor or specialist they're referring you to are, you know, politeness gets you a long way. Mm-hmm. I've always tried to be good to mine. So I generally have had no problem with getting appointments a little bit sooner. Mm-hmm. And it's been great. And now there's been a few that might have took a little bit longer to get scheduled, but you know, once they get it scheduled, it's set. Mm-hmm. And you know, and if people don't want to drive downtown, they can actually go to International Plaza, which is out beside the old AFCO plant. The gold building. Yeah. The bronze that blinds you every morning.
Yeah.
Okay. They have a shuttle that runs from there down to the main facility. They also go down to Murfreesboro, and then they can leave their car there at International Plaza, not have to fight downtown traffic, ride the shuttle down, and then be able to come back on the shuttle as well.
That's a good thing.
Yeah. It is. It really is. And I don't know how many in the area is taking advantage of that, but I've been looking at because my wife keeps telling me I can't shoot back when I go into Nashville. And I'm like, well, they can't shoot.
Because it gets kind of crazy. It does. I mean, I know Nashville traffic as well as any, but I'm telling you, it's crazy. I don't like it at all. I drive the back roads.
It gets worse every year.
Yeah, it does, and we're getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah,
New York, here we come.
I do have a couple other programs to mention that we have.
Yes, go. You've got just a minute. Ryan is here, so we need to start wrapping it up.
And we have we started a healing arts program at the Legion Post.
Right.
In Greenbrier. We do it every other Wednesday. Today is the day that we do it again. Awesome. And that's in conjunction with Monhaven Cultural Center. That's
cool.
That's from over in Hendersonville, which is a great group. Our facilitator is a Navy veteran. Mm-hmm. And, of course, as veterans, has a lot of the same problems the rest of us have. Mm-hmm. And this is open to veterans and their spouse, the surviving spouse of a veteran, first responders, their spouses. So it's a great way for them to start finding a way to express themselves through art. Yeah. And we meet from 1 till about 2:30. Some days we might get done a little earlier on what the project was. But those are things that we have started. Mm-hmm. And, you know, all they got to do is show up. Okay. You don't have, you know, they bring the paint, the paper, the whole 9 yards.
Just something to do an expression. Now, what other? Because we're out of time.
And the other thing is on June 14th is Flag Day.
Right.
And we will be doing flag retirement at Springfield Memorial Gardens. We haven't firmly set the time yet because I've been focusing on Memorial Day.
Right.
And so once Memorial Day is over, then I'll have the time set, but it will probably be roughly about 6 o'clock in the evening.
Okay.
So that way it gives people a chance to get home. So if your flags are faded, tattered, you got fraying on them, you don't need to be flying those.
Yeah.
You need to change that flag out. Don't throw it in the trash. You can drop them off at Springfield Memorial Gardens, or you can drop them off at the Legion Post, and you can also drop them off at the Veteran Service Office. And if they drop them off at the American Legion Post there in Greenbrier, and if no one happens to be there, just put it in a Walmart or Kroger bag or something, Piggly Wiggly, and just leave it on the door handle there. We will get it, and we will make sure that it's folded and ready for proper retirement.
Very good. Very good. All right. And so I do have Ryan hanging out, getting ready to come in and report on the mayor and alderman meeting. But I got to come back to, we got sidetracked talking about how the program has grown, and we didn't clarify, when are you guys expected to move to the new office?
We should be, we were saying July, August time frame.
That's what I was thinking. Okay.
Yep,
that's what Mayor Vogle was saying. Because he's going to be in there with you guys. Did you know that?
I heard that.
Yeah, because he's given up his courthouse office and he's going to be moving into that building. So we talked about it yesterday, but you just need to understand, guys, they started in Greenbrier with as far as an office, and then they moved over here to the city building. And you were just down the hall from where you get your tags, and now they're going to be moving to the new facility across the street.
That's it.
In July or August. So just keep that in mind. Do you want to give the phone number if they need to get in touch with you?
If you need to get in touch with us, give us a call at 615-382-6506.
Do it twice.
615-382-6506.
Wonderful, wonderful. And we'll have Gwen and Abigail in here tomorrow to kind of just reinforce all that we talked about, because there's just so much important stuff going on with Memorial Day coming up. Go out and help them place flags today. Today's time is 5.
4:30.
No, 4:30, and tomorrow's is 5. I'm sorry,
Yes.
I'm flipped. So
Tomorrow's at
4:30 today at Springfield Memorial.
5 o'clock tomorrow at Greenbrier Cemetery.
Yes, there you go. Thank you. What he said. And I also put up the blog. I wrote a blog many years ago about Terry Smith, the veteran I mentioned, or the soldier that died in service. He's got a gymnasium named for him in Washington. It's Donna Hagen's brother. So if you want to kind of start getting ready for Memorial Day, go read that. It's a wonderful story. And no, I mean, it's his story is a wonderful story. I just had the honor of sharing it. So, all right, guys, thank you so much. And we will see you around town. I know we probably will cross paths over the next week.
Somewhere.
All right. God bless y'all. God bless y'all. Thank you so much for coming in. Yeah, thank you very much. This is all the details. Go Show's coming up today. That she'll be in here at 8 o'clock to talk about all the things, just to kind of reiterate all the things we've been talking about and the things that you need to know with Memorial Day coming up, Flag Day, and all of those things that you need to make sure that you don't miss out on. We need to pause and talk about Veterans Motorplex. If you want to follow all the racing information, you can do this from Highland Rim Speedway, guys. They kept the Facebook page. They kept the social media posts because they had so many followers. So if you want to follow them and see what's going on, go to Highland Rim Speedway. You'll see the big banner there that says Veterans Motorplex, and that's where you're going to get all the racing information that you need. If you want to know as far as, okay, well, it looks like rain. Are we still going to race on Saturday? They're going to race if they possibly can, but rain can prevent them from having a race. They may postpone. Sometimes they'll say, hey, we're going to race Sunday since it rained on Saturday, or we're going to have a rain delay. So you follow them on social media, and that way you can stay up to date. It's at 6801 Kelly Willis Road in Greenbrier. Racing season is March to October. It might extend it to November, especially this year, because we got a late start. Even though we were talking about them through March, we didn't get to race until about 6 weeks into racing season because they were making big track improvements. They're wonderful out there. So much fun. A $40 ticket can bring an entire family in, up to 6 kids and 2 adults for $40. Cannot beat that. Great family fun time. A big old fast quarter-mile high-banked asphalt bull ring. Fun for the whole family right here in Robertson County up in Greenbrier. So if you want to have some fun with the family, you just didn't know how much fun the races could be, Get out there this weekend, Saturday, and enjoy the races. And when you go by, be sure and let Jerry know that U-Turn sent you. Brian Martin's in the house after I harassed him last week. He's like, hey, you're coming in. And I remembered the first was on Wednesday. And sometimes that just, throws my whole calendar in my head into a tailspin.
We've had a few of those, it seems like, in the last year where it's kind of rolled around and been different on the calendar.
So I was telling our veterans now are going to be coming in. They had a conflict for years and years. They've been coming in on the first Wednesday, and they're going to start coming in on the fourth Wednesday. And I said, every now and then you're going to have to share that with the city, and they're fine doing that. It's no problem. But I told them, I said, that's why they were in today, but no problem. We're going to have them in tomorrow morning too from 7 to 7:30 just to kind of recap, because it's Memorial Day weekend coming up. There's so much going on. They're placing flags this afternoon at 5 at Springfield Memorial and 4:30 tomorrow. I may have that flipped. I think it's 4:30 today and 5 tomorrow at Greenbrier. I'll have to go back and listen to the show and make my notes. But the big thing is they've got Springfield Memorial today, Greenbrier Cemetery tomorrow, and they want you to come out and help them place flags on the veterans' grave sites. So it's a cool thing. It's beautiful to see too. And just remember, those who paid for our freedom. So.
That's right. And all the celebrations this weekend, that's what I think everybody needs to remember is why they get to celebrate and the reason they're celebrating.
So believe it. It's not free, y'all.
That's exactly right.
Freedom's not free. And with that said, there's a big Freedom Fest coming up.
That's right.
Why don't we just spin off of that and
just right in there.
There you go.
Freedom Fest is coming up on Wednesday, July the 3rd. It's just a little over a month away. So we'll just continue that theme of celebrating our freedom through Independence Day. And that's Wednesday, July 3rd. That's going to be at the fairgrounds again. We're excited that we've got a good musical lineup. Hunter Girl, who was on American Idol a couple of years ago. The band Entice, which plays all sorts of soul, R&B, Motown. And then we'll have a Buzzy Pool and the Fortunate Sons playing.
Love Buzzy.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be a big deal. We're excited about having that. It'll be on the 3rd, so everybody will be off. Or a lot of folks will be off on the 4th. We've got a lot of folks that won't be off on the 4th. Obviously, if you're in one of those industries that doesn't get holidays off, but a lot of folks will be off on the 4th. Obviously, school's out, so still going to have the carnival rides. Still going to have vendors, food trucks, and vendors and that sort of thing. And it's going to be. Going to be nice. And it's free.
It's free. Unless you buy food, you don't have to spend a dime, guys.
That is correct.
The carnival rides are free. It is free. That is so cool. I just think that's amazing because you don't go to a carnival if you don't have to buy tickets. And you don't have to. You just get in line and ride the rides. Yeah. Isn't that wonderful?
Go do what you want to do. And unless you're buying food, then it doesn't cost you anything. There's free parking. Yeah. It's free admission. The music's free. The carnival rides are free.
Fabulous fireworks show. Yeah, absolutely fabulous. It's just why? If you possibly are free, you're going to want to be there. It's just a good time. It's a good time. And a pack of people. I was talking to Jessica from Sheriff's Office about the number of people that come to that. And she goes, I don't know. So what are the numbers that we usually have for that?
So last year, and this is the quantifiable number, okay? We don't do a counter at the gate or anything like that, but the quantifiable number that we received last year, and I'll explain how we get this, there were 9,600 unique devices. Oh. There is a company that we contract with.
Fascinating.
Yeah. There's a company that we contract with that helps us with economic development, retail recruitment data. And what they do is they purchase cell phone data from the cell phone carriers, right? So now we don't know who was there. We don't know them by name or what they were thinking or what they were looking at on their phone. No. But they say, hey, you had this many devices between 4 and 10, which is when the event hours were. Yeah. 9,600 unique devices. So what does that not count? That doesn't count small children, right? And that doesn't count weird folks like me who maybe have 2 of these devices, right?
True.
So
I thought about that.
You got a little bit of
9,000.
I would say, easy. And with kids, we know we had a ton of kids.
Probably maybe even 10.
Probably hit 10. Probably a little over 10 is kind of what we estimate. But it never feels like that. Mm-hmm. It never feels like there's 10,000 people.
That's what's so unique about our fairgrounds.
Yeah. And so and plus some folks come early to do carnival rides and eat, and they may not stay for the fireworks, right? And so they go and they may do their own family thing. They come enjoy a couple hours of free fun and that sort of thing, and then they leave. And some people don't arrive until the headliner is going to play in the fireworks show, right?
Right.
So it's a good flow of folks throughout the event, and the lines for the rides aren't usually too long. And but there were we had about 10,000 people there, and that's how we quantify that.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Well, and two, some people will come and they'll do the whole thing at the carnival, and then maybe they'll go somewhere nearby and watch fireworks from their yard, because you can see them in many, many places.
You can.
And so if you don't have to watch the shows and stuff, but I mean, there's great music. It's just always such a great show and great, just a fun event to be a part of.
Yeah.
And so I think it's cool that our city does such an awesome event, and it's all about building tourism to this area, because as I like to say, Franklin ain't got nothing on us. That's why I tell Ace all the time. And she's like, yeah. I'm talking about Ace Timmermeyer. She is our tourism coordinator, right?
Yeah, that's right.
I'm trying to get all the titles down right, but she's in charge of tourism and helping us promote tourism, because we've got something special here.
We do.
We've got something special here. And I do. I go to places like Franklin and I'm like, we're better. I mean, I do. I mean, I see we have so many things that these cities that are so, they're lifted up and they're like, oh, looky here. And it's like, well, have you been down here to Springfield? Have you been to Robertson County? I mean, you just don't know what you're missing.
Sure.
It's cool.
And we get a lot of compliments. And, Franklin's, I was just visiting.
In Franklin.
Oh, yeah. Visiting Franklin a month or two ago, and they've got some, nice attractions and things but they're similar, those historic cities. And that's how you kind of look at like Lebanon and Franklin and Columbia and us are similar, because we're county seats, we're older. Yes. So we have that identity, that unique feel, that downtown. And then folks, you got the newer cities like, White House or Mount Juliet or Brentwood or cities like that are 50 years old or so. We envy them because they don't have the 200-year-old problems that we have, right?
That's true. That's a good point.
We have older infrastructure and older, so I hear from some of the newer cities a lot that they wish they had the square. They wish they had that identity, and I tell them, well, I wish I didn't have some of these 200-year-old problems when you have a 200-year-old city. So it's a trade-off, but we're thrilled with where we are right now and where we're going and how we're growing responsibly, and but growing. And that's one thing that I think that maybe had to come to grips with is trying to hang on to our identity, but understanding that we can't stop the growth.
Right.
I mean, there's just you just don't stop growth. You can manage it, but you can't stop it.
Right.
And so that's what we're trying to do, is manage it responsibly and move through that process.
I love it. And there's a lot of special stuff coming up. I just want to, off the 4th of July with the Freedom Fest, we also have the Fire Cured Festival.
That's right. In August.
Coming up in August. And so can't say enough about that. I love the concept. I just think it's a great concept. And I'm excited to see how that all comes together too.
Yeah.
We got fun stuff coming up. We got First Friday Night Markets.
Yeah.
All the things happening. So.
And I think it's unique to that intersection between tourism and community event, because I think they can coexist. First Friday Night Market is a great community event.
Yeah.
But a lot of folks don't realize it's a heck of a tourism event too, because people come from other zip codes and other areas to spend the evening with us and shop with local vendors and local merchants. Because we have, 5,000 to 7,000, sometimes more people on the square throughout that time frame. Had a huge crowd at the first one in May, and got one coming up in June, and so that's a big event too. And tourism and community events, there's an overlap there. And so I think Ace and Natasha and our folks and Terry Martin and everybody, they do a great job of trying to put those things together and figuring out how to market those and be responsive. What do the folks in the community want? Yeah. What can appeal? And that's why Freedom Fest, I think, has been, finally, catered and particularized to what does the community want, and then that draws people in from the outside. And so we're always excited to hear from folks that are coming and said, I heard you're having so and it's free. Can't believe it's free. So we drove 2 hours to spend the evening with you all, and maybe they stay the night in a hotel, maybe they stop and get gas or stop and eat somewhere else on the way out or something, and that's an economic boost for our area. And when folks shop here, and I don't want to just keep hammering it, but when people shop here, and keep their money local.
Yeah.
That's what puts gas in the police cars. That's what puts, firefighters on a fire engine. That's what patches potholes and paves streets, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. But that's what takes care of those type of things and keeps our property tax burden low.
Exactly. So just all these things, and we just kind of jumped right into it, and it's already a quarter till. We're talking with Ryan Martin. He is our city manager, and they had the mayor and alderman meeting last night, so he's here to report on that. So I'm just going to go right into it. Why don't we just jump into that before we get off on something else? But all those events, we were talking about Memorial Day, and they just kind of spilled over into it. So we got that taken care of. What, paving the streets and all that. What did y'all talk about last night?
That was the more exciting part of the conversation.
Yeah, it's more fun.
What we did last night was focused on budget.
And all that.
It was. And so our fiscal year 25 budget was presented for first reading last night, and the board did approve it unanimously on first reading. Some of the highlights of that is it is about a $135 million budget, which when we say that sometimes shocks people. And little old Springfield, 135, that's huge. Well, we're different and we're unique in that we're one of the only cities remaining in Tennessee, or only cities that ever existed in Tennessee and remaining, that have all of the utilities. We have water. We provide the water. We provide the wastewater utility. We provide sanitation, electric, and natural gas. And there just aren't many cities that do that. We don't do cable TV, and we don't do phone, which a couple of cities in Tennessee still do. But we have all of the utilities, and the reason for that is long ago, the citizens asked the city government, because remember, city government's just a representation of the citizens, and I want to keep it that way. I know that sometimes we feel differently about what's going on in Washington, or and that sort of thing. But here, we're responsive to what we serve, the people we serve, and that's what. And so years ago, the citizens said, "Hey, we need these services. We need water. We need sewer. We need electricity." And so no private utility would step in and do that. And so the city got into that business, as they did in many places in Tennessee and across the country. We still have all of that, and so that does inflate our number a little bit because we're in a lot of businesses. We're the same size operationally as cities that have twice our population.
Oh wow!
Yeah. So we're a little bit different, a little bit unique, but we've come to accept that we're a little weird, and that's okay.
That's all right.
But we're $135 million total budget. A lot of things that are included in that. A lot of things moving forward that are included. Just some highlights. We're going to begin the process next fiscal year of exploring building a new city hall. Our city hall is the old part of City Hall is a lot older than 35 years, but the new part of City Hall is 35 years old, and it is going on 35 years old. And so we're looking at out of space. We've got some severe structural issues with that building. It floods. Just even with the last, we had an issue when the last weather situation we had a week before last, and that created some issues in the first level of City Hall in the electrical room, so that could have been a major fire hazard. But so we've got some structural issues that have to be solved. The police department, same thing. So the police department will be next on that list as far as exploring a new police department headquarters. They're out of space, as well as have some foundational issues. That building is aging as well. None of that is holds a candle to our wastewater building, which is probably in the worst shape of all of our city buildings. And so that's the number one priority in the FY25 budget as far as facilities go, is to look at building our new water and wastewater. We've got some land I believe we're going to use for that, and allow that to mesh with some of our other facilities. And so that's the plan. So we've got some big undertakings that are upcoming internally to make sure that we're equipped to continue to serve people. We can't, if City Hall's flooded, we can't really serve people very well, right, when they come in. So we've got to invest in that, and that's investing in the service that we can provide. We've got, obviously, the wastewater treatment plant project will continue. We expect that to be under construction later this calendar year, so into fiscal year 25. We still don't know the bid cost on that, but we expect it to be around $70 million. And so we're not really looking forward to that, but that's something that the EPA and the state are requiring us to do. And so that's, which, if I can park here for just a second with the EPA, I don't want anybody to get scared, but we sent out, as all utilities were required to do, a lead and copper survey. It's on social media. It'll be in the bill stuffer. What that's asking folks to do is participate in a survey on their service lines on their side of the meter. For water, okay. In 1988 or 1989, the EPA said no more lead and no more copper. Right.
Okay.
And so since then, utilities in Springfield too, when we find a lead pipe or a lead service, we remove it. Right. What's never happened is no one's ever asked the question is what about the customer side of the meter? Right. Mm-hmm. It's always been on the utilities infrastructure, the pipes that are running, to get to the subdivisions and down the roads to get to the area. Nobody's ever asked, what about those service lines in the people's yards that are leading into their house? Right. And so for a lot of houses built prior to 1988, then might have lead or copper services, right? And so what we're asking, the EPA is now wanting utilities nationwide to survey their customers to see if they have lead or copper services. We don't know what becomes of that, okay? So we'll wait and see what the EPA's guidance is, if the EPA will put out some grant money for homeowners to replace those if they want to, or what. I'm hypothesizing, right?
Yeah.
I don't think it'll fall to the local utilities. I think they're just using the local utilities to gather the data, gather the information, because local utilities have been removing these things for years, right?
Why not copper? I thought copper was a good thing. I thought the copper I thought that's what we wanted in our. I don't know anything about it, but for some reason I just thought that was what we wanted.
I have no idea.
I don't either.
I have no idea.
About it. Yeah.
So I don't know.
My brother-in-law's a pipe fitter, and so I thought they did a lot of copper lines. I'll call him. I'll find out. Yeah.
And I don't know if it has to do with with just the water side, if that's okay for
Interesting.
Yeah, but I don't know. I really don't.
Either. Maybe we can call up Trent Cobb with he's a builder. He could probably tell us what the because I had never really heard that. Now lead, of course.
Right.
Now I had never heard that particular thing about copper.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
That's what they're asking us to do. So we're doing as kind of we're instructed from the EPA.
Okay.
And it's just a survey, and no one's coming. No one's going to penalize you or take you to jail or anything like. It's just a survey, because here's what the reality, and that's why we're asking for a survey. Mm-hmm. We're asking them to voluntarily participate, because if not, the customers that we don't get a response from, we anticipate we're probably going to have to go check. Yeah. Right. So we're trying to save some cost and some time to go out, because I think that the next step is the EPA is going to have us go find out where we have lead and copper in our service area, right? And so it's just checking. I don't know anything past that, but when we put that message out, and we were not the first to that game, but when we put that, I've seen other places and they've put that message out and people get scared. Oh my gosh, lead pipes. Well, no, it's just a survey to see if you have lead on your side. The utilities have been removing the lead pipes for years, and we're
on customer side.
We're not aware of any lead pipes that we have on our side at this time. Like we removed. Once you do, especially in the older area, we're very fortunate because there's been a lot of rehab in that area in the older part of Springfield. So all those lead pipes that we know of are out, right? Okay. So that helps. But anyway, I got sidetracked on that.
I know. We probably need another half hour because you got so much to cover. We're talking with Ryan Martin, city manager here in Springfield. Continue on with what you did at the mayor and alderman.
I'll cover a couple more things that we have time. We've got a few more things in the budget. Fire Station 3, obviously, we have land under contract for that, and we're going to look at building that. And major irrigation project at the Legacy Golf Course. Obviously, the golf course is going on 30 years old, and so some things have to be invested in out there. But the golf course is doing as well as it ever has, and is from an operating perspective is a good investment for the city, as it helps it provides money back to the city general fund that is helping keep the tax burden low. I mean, so that's very helpful. We have 2 rate increases to pass along: an electric rate increase, a 5.9% rate increase. We've been very fortunate not to have an electric rate increase, an actual base rate increase, for years, and so we've been fortunate. But it's a 5.9% increase. What does 5.9% mean? It means $5 to $12 on an average summer residential bill. Average summer residential bill that we bill is about $131, so you're looking at $5 to $12 on that, depending on usage and your energy efficiency. Okay. Right? Wastewater rate increase, we know this is coming. We've talked about this many times, an 8% rate increase. What does that mean on a bill? The average residential sewer bill is $73, and that's another $5 to $6. Okay. So both of those are more money than we want to have people spend. but that infrastructure has to be invested in, and we don't, we don't have a choice. If we don't do this, the state or TVA comes in, they take over, and they do what they want to do,
You
right?
bet. And,
So
they're putting in a new plant right next door to me, y'all.
that's right. Yeah.
We're watching. They've always done a good job. I cannot say enough about that. We've had a very good neighbor with the wastewater plant. And looking forward to the new plant.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be even better.
It's going to be great.
Oh yeah, I'm excited.
Much more.
Yeah.
Much more advanced, less intrusive, and all of that sort of
I think it's
thing.
going to be cool. It's going to be cool to have it there. So,
Yeah.
very good.
One of the really cool things last night that happened was we had an Eagle Scout come that wants to make a donation to Garner Street Park of a Gaga ball pit. Gaga ball,
I
yes.
have no idea.
And
What is that?
folks our age, LaVern, don't know, but all of the kids know and love it. And so
Okay.
it is a modern take on dodgeball, but it's in a more confined area, so it's more intense, right? And so it's an octagon, and it's about 3 foot high,
I kind of dig this. This
Yeah.
sounds fun.
3 foot high wall, okay?
Uh-huh.
And the kids get in this pit, and there's a ball, and somebody gets the game started, and you can only use your hands. So if the ball touches anything besides your hands, you're out. That's the way I understand it. So you smack the ball to try to hit somebody else in the legs or in the body somewhere and get them out. Last person standing wins.
Nice.
And so it is intense.
Yeah.
It's a very confined little octagon.
love this.
And you see 30 kids go in there. I mean,
That's
so it's
hysterical.
Yeah, it's
Sort of bust a nose every now and
Yeah.
then, but hey, that builds character.
That's
Let's-
right.
Come on.
So-
You're not going to get involved unless you step in the ring.
That's right.
I love it. That's great. Having raised boys, I'm like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
let's throw it down,
Yeah.
man.
The kids love it, and so we're excited.
Yeah.
There's a spot for that, and he worked with Terry Martin, so that's his Eagle Scout project. His name is Eli
Nice.
Dowker, and he's a 16-year-old, and he's going to raise the money. It's about $4,000 to build this, and he's going to construct it, and that's his Eagle Scout
love
Service
it.
project.
I love it. I got to have him in now. That's on
Yeah.
my list. I got to
He's
get an update on this.
Very, very articulate, fine young
Wonderful.
man.
That'll be fun.
Accomplished. Had a whole thing of,
sure.
thing of badges across his chest last night in his scout uniform, and so we're thankful. I mean, that just shows, there's faith in humanity right there. If there's a 16-year-old that's willing to give back and put it, in his community and that sort of thing, that's awesome. So the board appreciated that and accepted that donation last night. Give people a heads up real quick on the citywide paving project that's going to take place. We'll have some interruptions here. Everybody knows it's been down Black Patch Drive in the last year. It is in desperate need of resurfacing. And it will be that we've kind of put that off, waiting until most of the construction traffic for the new Batson Parkway extension was finished traveling on Black Patch. We didn't want to resurface it and have the heavy vehicles tear it back up again, right?
Sure.
So now that that's pretty much completed, we're going to start that. But Black Patch Drive is one of the main pieces that's going to be in that citywide paving project, but there's various areas. We're going to put that on our social media to try to let everybody know when to avoid areas and how, and where we're going to be working and that sort of thing. So
Very good. Very good. Is that it?
well,
Did you get through it?
I'll probably have a few more, but that's okay. I think we've got the important stuff out of the way today.
Awesome.
So.
Very good. And his door's always open,
Yep.
guys. Ron Martin, if you need to reach out to him, best way just to call call the City Hall.
Yeah, just give us a call, City
Just ask for
Hall.
Ryan, and he will get right back in touch with you. Appreciate you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. If you need anything from me, just let me know. And as he's making his way out, that gives me just a minute to talk about my friends Barry and Rebecca Richards with Exit Prime Realty. Got to hang out with my friends. Love them so much. Got to hang out with them at the Kilgore Station Bluegrass Festival this past weekend. It was so much fun. But they're the answer to your real estate questions, guys. If you're wondering about, is it time to sell? Is it time to buy? Yes, yes, and yes. If that's what you need to do, if that's what works for your family, and you need people who understand the market, who understand the business. They are cross-Polanians. They know Robertson County up one side and down the other because they have been here for nearly 30 years in Cross Plains. And they specialize in Robertson County properties, but they also buy and sell in the surrounding counties and across the state line in Kentucky. They're from Kentucky, y'all, so they know Kentucky real well as well. Barry is a marketer. Having a marketer on your team when you're trying to sell property, it is priceless. You want somebody that understands how to present it and make sure it's being seen in the best light, and he can do that. He is the broker here in Springfield, has an office around the downtown square. Rebecca is the agent that has an office up in White House, and they combine those two offices to bring you a new branch in the Exit Tree. They are Exit Prime Realty, still same great team, new name from about 4 or 5 months ago, but they are Exit Prime Realty. If you want to contact them, you can go to sellwithbecky.com, sellwithbecky.com, buy, B-U-Y, robertsoncounty.com. You can call Rebecca, 615-504-7425. You can search them on social media, just Barry Richards, Exit Prime Realty, Rebecca Richards, Exit Prime Realty. Remember, now they have separate offices. They'll help each other out, but they have separate offices. She has a broker she works with up in White House, and he handles the brokerage here in Springfield. But they're just a real unique, wonderful office. If you've got somebody that's wanting to mentor and become a realtor, they can help you out with that as well. So much going on. So many wonderful things to bring to the table with Barry and Rebecca Richards, Exit Prime Realty, one of our sponsors here at One Street Over. When you see them, always please let them know that U-Turn sent you. And as we make our exit here this morning, remember, I've got Lee Marie coming in with the Ghost Show. She's going to be on from 8 to 9 this morning, filling you in on all the things going on. And she's going to reiterate all the things that are happening with our Memorial Day festivities and services that will be going on around town. So stay tuned for that right here at 1100 WSGI. God bless. Have a wonderful day.